They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. And it was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money. And I'm not going to tell you what that present is. It wasn't nuclear related. It was oil and gas related.
All right, let's bring in Bill O'Reilly. Forget about the style of gift. I'm not telling you what it is, but the idea that it's seen as a good thing that the regime is still in control of the strait, but allowing certain ships that aren't American to come through. Is this really a positive development or a gift?
I don't know. I mean, I talked to the president last night late, and here's what I know, Cuomo. So the United States would like to have a dialogue with Iran, but they don't know who to talk to. There's no clear leader anywhere. I mean, Omar, the tent maker, could show up to have the dialogue. They'd like to do it in Pakistan. They have Witkoff and Kushner ready to go. And they'd like to start the dialogue to get the things that the United States feel are necessary for world peace. So that's the American component. The chaos on the other side is undefined. There's no reporting on the ground. Nobody knows really where these people are. They're all hiding. A lot of them have been assassinated. So it's very hard to quantify what they're doing. The Revolutionary Guard is pretty much in control of hurling missiles and drones in the Straits of Hormuz. They're going to run out of ordnance soon. And then you have the China factor, which is huge, because President Trump doesn't want to eliminate the oil from Iran to China, particularly when he's going there in middle of May. So it's a very complicated thing. This simplistic garbage that you hear on television news in America is insulting. The administration is now waiting to see if it can get the deal that it wants. And that's where we are.
Look, I mean, that's a better read than what we're getting from the president, because the president says, oh, yeah, we're negotiating. He said the other day, we've got the right people that we're talking to there now. I haven't heard anybody else who's involved with the negotiations suggest that. They suggest what you did, which is they don't really know what the state of play is on that side. But I'll tell you, you know, you say this is the misinformation, the spin. Well, you know, what goes around comes around in politics. And the president is no stranger to exaggerating things that happen for his own effect. And now we're in a position where I don't think it's fair what Senator Fetterman just said, that Democrats choose to believe the regime instead of the president. I don't think that's true from the interviews that I'm doing. But we know the regime is a bunch of liars, Bill. Here's my question to you. Can you really say to the American people, you can believe President Trump?
You got to be skeptical of every administration. They're going to put forth what they want the American people to digest. And this has been going on since Thomas Jefferson and John Adams were slugging it out. I don't understand the people being so naive about this. You're wrong about Schumer. Schumer had an opportunity to say, look, we back the U.S. military, wouldn't do it. And I'd love to see Schumer on the Cuomo show.
Yeah, me too. Him. He won't come on.
Why won't he come on? Why?
Because they choose safe harbors, just like a lot of the Republicans.
No.
Why come on here and get slapped around when you can go get a pat on the back?
He's a coward. That's why he won't come on. He's a coward. And he's directly responsible for the TSA people not being paid. Because he knows that judicial warrants for every undocumented taken into custody aren't possible. None of judges in the country couldn't do it. He knows it. He's a coward. It's him. And that he's the most powerful guy in the Democratic Party. Now, whether people will remember in November, I don't know. But it's a disgrace. Schumer is a coward. And if he's not going to come on a Cuomo show, I mean, all right, MS, whatever it is, nobody takes that seriously. Why don't you just go on Daffy Duck? I mean, nobody in the world is taking that thing seriously. That's just an arm of the Democratic Party and the progressive movement. And that's where Chuck goes. Chuck has no...
People stick to their own. The Republicans are the same way.
No, they're not. You can get Republican people to come on. I get them on all the time. I grill Lindsey Nelson.
No, yeah, you can.
Lindsey Nelson.
Yeah.
Med announcer.
Lindsey Graham.
You know, I grill everybody, and they still come on. Not everybody. Not everybody. But Schumer is the leader of the Democratic Party. He's a coward. That's it.
I just think it's the path of least resistance. I think they're all pack animals now. And I think that, you know, we have a real confidence problem. We have a real trust problem. Is Schumer to blame for the shutdown? Yeah. But did the president pull a deal off the table that the Republicans wanted to make?
Hold it.
Yeah.
Hold it. Did you trust Barack Obama, what he was saying? Did you trust George W. Bush?
I'll tell you what. Yes and yes. Trust but verify? Skeptical, as you say? Absolutely. But do I know I was being lied to on a regular basis with Obama? No. With George W. Bush? No. With Bill Clinton? No. With George H.W. Bush?
Okay, well, you
no.
don't...
With President Donald Trump?
You have a president.
Absolutely.
Okay. Double standard because you're a Democrat. You have a Democratic president.
I'm not
who said,
a
if you like
Democrat.
your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Yes, you are.
I'm not a Democrat.
Right,
but there's a difference between being... Hold on, Bill. There's a different... No, first of all, I have only been a registered Democrat to vote for my brother or father. Okay? I'm telling you, Bill, you're not even close on this. But that's not what matters. Well, it matters if you're going to make a false accusation. But here's what I'm saying. You were raised in
a home where your father was a Democratic governor of New York.
When you have a
president that says, if you like your doctor,
I was raised by a guy who made you look like an atheist. I was raised by a guy who made you look like an atheist, Bill. All right? He made you look like a pansy atheist. But that's who raised me and taught me what you believe and what you don't believe. Here's what I'm saying. I don't give a damn about party politics. What I care about is this. You can keep your doctor if you want your doctor. He was wrong and didn't understand the implications of his own bill.
It's wrong.
Shame on him, and he paid for it. There's a difference between being wrong and lying. You told me 2 weeks for the war. We're now on week 5.
Lying.
You were wrong. That's not a lie. You were wrong. Now, if you knew it wasn't going to be 2 weeks, and now we're in week 5, not you. I'm saying, for example, if you say 2 weeks for the war, which the president said, now it's been 5. Is that a lie? I don't think so. I think he was wrong. I don't think he knew what he was getting into. A lie is they're desperate for a deal. A lie is we already won. Those are lies, Bill. They're lies.
No, they're not. Yeah, and it's ridiculous to make that assertion. Already won can be defined in a million ways. You just heard Senator Fetterman say that the military aspect of this conflict has been clear in the destruction of Iran. So you can go in and say, we won the war. Now we're trying to win the economic piece, which is different, okay?
The regime's still in place.
Lie. Look, how many times did you hear Cheney and Bush lied about weapons of mass destruction? How many times did you hear that? Okay, well, the U.S. intel as put forth by Colin Powell. Is Colin Powell a liar? Or is he a liar?
No.
Okay? He's the guy that put it forth. Okay. You're cherry picking. That's what you're doing. You're cherry picking people you don't like. They're liars. But if I like them, they're just misled. Come on.
No, it's not even a close call. I'm telling you. Did Colin Powell, look, if you're asking me whether or not everybody in power has lied, of course, every human being lies. The question is how often, how predictably, and to what degree? And if you want to put Trump on equal footing with every other president, fine. You will never find a lot of company in that
on
position.
Any footing. I analyze each situation as it unfolds. No, I analyze each situation as it unfolds. Okay? So right now where we are is the United States would like to make a deal with Iran.
I agree.
They can't at this point because nobody knows who's in charge there. a deal will happen. Trump did do the right thing by going in there and emasculating their offensive capabilities, Iran. I don't know if it'll work out in history, but he did the right thing. War is complicated. I don't think he's waking up in the morning going, I'm going to lie to Cuomo today. I'm going to lie. That's not what he does.
If you don't think he's a liar, that's fine. That's your opinion. You don't have to think that.
No, a lie means that you wake up and you say, here's the truth, but here's what I'm going to say, which is opposite the truth. It's not what Trump does.
Yeah.
Not what he does, okay? All right, now, San Francisco, you want lies? Ho-ho, that city has collapsed, social, and no one in power will admit it. There's a lie, because you can see it with your eyes. So on Thursday, in Leland Spot at 9 p.m., that's tomorrow, I will take you through it. I will walk you through it as you see me right now. I will show you exactly what's happening and why it is happening and who allowed it to happen to this day. One startling fact, Cuomo, and you didn't know because I didn't know it until I was in the Tenderloin talking to the drug addicts themselves. You know who sells the narcotics down there in San Francisco and in Oakland? Honduran drug gangs who are here illegally. You know who protects them? The sanctuary laws of San Francisco and California. They strut around armed to the teeth, okay, knowing that no one on the federal level can bother them, okay, because the state and the city won't cooperate, as almost every state does with joint task force. California won't do it. So Honduran drug gangs in this country illegally are fueling a massive fentanyl crisis that has destroyed the city of San Francisco, and the mayor knows it, and the governor knows it, and Pelosi knows it, and Kamala Harris knows it, and they never did anything about it. How about that for a headline?
I think it's a damning headline, and that's why San Francisco's been getting crushed, and Newsom has such a big burden to try to make it as the Democratic nominee.
It was once the most beautiful city in the country. I used to love to go there. Now, little children watch drug addicts inject themselves with needles in their neck as they walk to school. Now, Hondurans here illegally cut off people's hands with machetes if they don't pay their drug debts. Okay? This isn't about narcotics. This is about massive violence. Meanwhile, 2 miles away, Nancy Pelosi is living in an $8 million house guarded by security. So she doesn't have to experience any of it. Where do you see this special? This is old-time reporting, Cuomo, that has almost disappeared in the journalistic industry. That's what this special is all about. Thursday night, 9 p.m. Be there, or as they say on Long Island, be square. And we don't want you to be square.
Nobody on Long Island says that. Bill, I look forward to the special. Thank you for being with me tonight. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.